Wander Wealthy Podcast, episode 160. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to another episode of the Wander Wealthy Podcast. My name is Tess. I'm your host, and today we are going to talk about what's going on right now. I'm sure you have a lineup of podcasts and everyone's kind of doing a little update episode. And I guess I'm hopping on the bandwagon, but I also think that it is super important to share some ideas, some inspiration, some helpful advice, some nuggets of how to go through any sort of uncertainty, any sort of time of pandemic or fear or, just not knowing what the F is happening. And also, be guided in a way to help you identify how to show up yourself. So every single one of you listening right now, you are a leader in some way, shape, or form. And the majority of you are leaders in your communities through your business. My business helps others with their own online businesses that are specifically and usually service-based. And what a time to be an online business owner. I know that it feels like, everything is shutting down around us, but so often if, you're in my world, your business doesn't shut down because of what is happening. You are still called to serve and to lead. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today is how to step up as a leader during times of uncertainty and why it's important for you to be stepping up right now. So what is happening right now with COVID-19, the coronavirus that is spreading throughout the globe, is there's a lot of uncertainty. I am recording this from Switzerland. I have been, I just missed the lockdown in Italy. We actually moved to Switzerland about a month before everything went down. So we, still have friends and family back in Italy. And right now, as I'm recording this, they're in the middle of their 2-week countrywide lockdown, while Switzerland is just starting on the path of having the schools closed, and more employees are suggesting and recommending that people work from home if they can. At the same time, the US is going through a lot of kind of and sort of panic. I mean, I've been doing a lot in terms of talking to and about what's happening on an economic scale, because as my experience and my profession of being a money coach, I still am responsible for making sure that my clients have all the information and the facts that they need to know in order to make the best decisions for themselves as we see what is happening in the markets. And we're also concerned with what might happen from a job security standpoint. And so I'm going to speak to that on how you can really step up as a coach or as your service-based business leader and make sure your clients are getting everything that they need at this time. But in this process, the US is currently kind of on edge in terms of blocking travel, specifically from the EU more recently. China has been, I think, blocked for a little bit, but now there's been a major travel ban, and they're even considering blocking travel domestically. I don't know if that will actually happen. I think that will have a huge economic impact. But there is a lot of concern just about the movement of people. And a lot of people are stepping up and personally deciding to social distance, while there's various towns and states that are more so mandating, school closures and whatnot. And so I think the US kind of, as a country as a whole, is a little bit harder to control because everyone is so, proud of being an individual and being able to have their own freedom. And that's super important. And for me, being an American living in a European country, it's been just interesting to watch and observe. But I am not like a political correspondent or even I don't know, an economic correspondent in that way. But what I can speak to is just the opportunity that is presenting itself for us as online business owners to step up as leaders. So right now, despite where you might live or where your community is located, right now is a time to step up as a leader. As people decide, in their own terms, or it is mandated through their local, state, or national, federal government, they're choosing to spend, time alone. Maybe not go to work. Maybe they can't, or maybe they're not allowed to. They're seeking essentially guidance. They're seeking answers, and they're also seeking community. I heard from my fiance that the use of social media in Italy went on a huge uptick. Now, I haven't found myself any data in regards to that. I don't think it's being necessarily reported in at least US or English speaking journalism, but from what he is even just hearing among his family and friends, more and more people are finding community through the online space, which I think is amazing that we even have this medium. If you're obviously watching the news or reading anything about this current pandemic, they are doing a lot of flashbacks or, just referring a lot to the Spanish flu that went through the world, I think back in like 1918. I don't have the exact date, but I can't imagine going through something like this during that time without the ability to have the internet, right? Without the ability to socialize online, without the ability to continue to do business and run, even some enormous companies wouldn't even be able to run. I mean, most of the enormous companies wouldn't be able to run. And now we have all of this opportunity and possibility. Now, that's not to say, there are still so many people that have to go without income right now. There are still so many people that are feeling secluded and lonely, but we can do the best we can as leaders to show up and continue to serve and offer guidance and offer even just a sense of community or a sense of optimism, opportunity, whatever that looks like, and however you can offer it. So what I believe is that when things like this occur, people are given two options. They're given the option to panic, or they're given the option to seek peace. And, I would even say that myself, I fluctuate between the two. I can go down this rabbit hole of seeking information, which I think is important. I think it's important to be educated, to know the data. I don't think that even ourselves as leaders need to be showing up and just being like, it's fine, you're going to be fine. Just act like it's going to be fine and, envelop yourself with good energy and then you'll be healthy and go out and just continue living your life. I think that that is extremely ignorant and extremely naive to assume, especially us young people who are a little bit healthier, who, even older people who do have a good immune system. I think it's still so important for us to take personal responsibility for ourselves, and also knowing with this type of virus that we can be carriers even if we don't display symptoms. And so even myself, can start to go down this rabbit hole of information, which then can lead me down a rabbit hole of panic. And I have to remember that I'm responsible for pulling myself out of that and also seeking opportunities and people who speak of peace and calmness and making sure that you're taking care of yourself and taking care of your energy. Because obviously fear isn't the best place to act from. It's not the best place to show up from for your online business, or even just your online presence, or even for your family and your friends. And so I believe that people have this opportunity to go down and seek and turn towards panic, turn towards fear, or towards peace. And there can be some blurred lines there, but also from a perspective of you have a responsibility to continue to show up and serve your audience. You also get to choose from which route or from which angle you're going to present that. And so I think it's normal for people to seek answers, but it's also important for individuals to have this place of light and optimism and support to turn to. And again, not saying that if you're offering an opportunity of light, optimism, and support and providing answers, but providing it along the lines of, hey, we're going to overcome this, we're going to get through this, and we still need to, the earth is still going to keep spinning, we're going to have to go back to work at a certain point in time, or we're going to have to, stop living in panic at a certain point in time and carry on, as well as like this virus will eventually, fingers entirely crossed, but this virus should go away at a certain point in time, and we're going to have to get to the other end of that. And so knowing that the future is not just cut off, we still have to continue to show up and serve. And you don't have to do that from a place of ignorance or naivety. I don't know how to say that word. And just be like completely ignorantly optimistic. You can be real, but you also can see that this is an opportunity for you to be a leader in your space and in your community. There are measures that we can all take to protect ourselves and others, and we all should be taking to protect ourselves and others. But the good news is, like, if we are all individually socially isolating and taking personal responsibility for that, we can at least still show up online and provide a place, an environment, a container of peace and optimism and encouragement and, helping people see that there are opportunities and helping them just navigate this time that is happening, that we are all living through. So like I said, the world, it's going to continue to spin. The days will continue to tick away, and there will come a time where this pandemic, or if you're listening to this in a future period and there's something else happening, that it will pass. And we'll have to pick ourselves up on the other side and continue moving forward. So might as well use this time to show up as a leader through all of this and continue to work on what you need to in order to keep the ball moving. And you can also provide that insight to others, or you can take this opportunity also, like if you can't be working, or if your clientele, your audience are in kind of the space where they're not able to continue working, it's a great opportunity for them to see this as an opportunity to perfect their craft, or to dive in on their side hustle, or to continue learning and creating, so that, by the time this passes, you do have something to show for it and you can hit the ground running once you're there. And I think what is really important for us as leaders is to continue to lead by example. We have to walk our talk by showing others how we are spending our time during all of this, how we are still showing up and taking personal responsibility for ourselves. And that means, like, you can't just share other people's social media of, the importance of social distancing or whatever that looks like and where you're at, but then you yourself continue to go out and socialize and be around, in big crowds and whatnot. So we need to walk our talk that we are, doing as we say others should do. We need to show how we are spending our time, and trying to be as productive or optimistic as possible, while also still being very, grounded in the reality of what is happening. And we also need to show how we are taking care of ourselves. I think, so many people, especially when you don't, like, pre-pandemic, so many people fail to put themselves first and to take care of themselves. And this is such an important time to remind others how self-care is important. And I'm not saying like self-care, like, eat chocolate and take a bubble bath. I'm saying like protecting your energy, make sure you're hydrating, make sure that you are identifying, when you're going down a rabbit hole of panic and data gathering and fear, and how you would personally pull yourself out of it, and how you can help others, or others can personally do it themselves, and offering them guidance and techniques and tools to help them, not just continue to go down the panic rabbit hole. So leading by example and showing others, what are you doing on a day-to-day basis to protect your energy, to protect your health, to walk your talk, to follow the rules of whatever the rules are that are highly suggested in your city, community, state, or country, and how you can, how you're utilizing this time. And without, I know that self-isolation can be difficult. I think for those of us who do spend a lot of time working from home, we're a little bit more attuned to it, but it's still hard for all people. But how you are just taking every day in stride and day by day adjusting to the news as it comes, because that's the other hard part about this is things change on a daily basis. So what I want to end with, and I hope this is helpful, I hope that you're inspired to take this and know that you, even if you don't have a business, if you happen to be listening to this and you don't have a business, you can still show up as a leader, and know that more and more people are going to turn to the online space to seek camaraderie, to seek community, and to seek answers, and to seek some window of light. Right? They're trying to find the optimism in all of this, and they might have a hard time because maybe their feeds or their wherever they're getting their news is just full of fear and panic, and they're trying to seek that optimism and that light, and maybe you can be that light for them, And so whether you're a business owner or not, you can show up as a leader during this time. And the last thing I wanted to touch on is the question about, is this a good time for you to, continue business as usual, to continue making your offer, to continue, selling? I mean, that's what it is at the end of the day, selling your services. And I think if you think about what is happening right now, it could be the perfect time for you to step up and serve, especially if what you need to be serving is exactly what those who are out there need to be purchasing. Like if I think of the online coaching industry, because that's really, the industry that I serve the most in any way, shape, or form. Let's start with money coaches. Money coaches out there, it is our duty to step up and help people who are in a state of panic, who are thinking about, what am I going to do if fill in the blank? What am I going to do if I lose my job? What am I going to do if the market crashes? What am I going to do if, these service businesses or, my small business goes out of business? What am I going to do if this turns into like an economic and financial shitstorm? And this is your opportunity to show up and make your offer, because there's no time like now where people actually need this. And maybe you think, like, especially you money coaches out there, I know you're thinking, how could I offer something when people might not, people might be losing their job? How can I offer this and have people pay for something when they might not be able to afford it, especially now? And the way that I look at this, because honestly, let's be real, this comes up even if we're not in a global pandemic. This comes up especially for money coaches, even if these things aren't happening. It's always a hard time for someone. And it's usually always a hard time for the people who are seeking your guidance. So this is like the way that you need to approach this no matter what, is that usually the reason why people can't have what you're offering or the, I don't want to say excuse, but the reason they're unable to commit or invest is the exact reason they need to commit or invest, right? If it's a financial issue, that's the exact reason they need this, because they need your guidance so that they can, come out the other side and not have to deal with these issues ever again. Now, during this specific time, obviously this isn't the time to price gouge, right? We've seen a lot of people, doing this specifically with like hand sanitizer and Clorox wipes and face masks. This isn't the time to do something like that. This isn't the time to say, oh, what I have to offer is so needed, I'm going to raise my prices because the demand is going to be so high. Like, that's probably the more unethical or immoral place to go with this because of what we're dealing with. If you had no reason to raise your prices other than you see this as an opportunity to get rich, that's the wrong way to go. And I'm very careful about what I'm saying here because I understand that people already have negative connotations tied to even just the word rich or even just the idea of raising their prices. I think we should all raise our prices, right? Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with increasing the price of your service if it makes sense and if the value still that you provide outweighs the price of what you're charging. But in a time like this, where you're only seeing it as, well, more and more people are going to need this right now. Now I'm going to, price gouge and take advantage of that. That's where I draw the line. That's essentially what I'm saying. But I do not think there's anything wrong with making your offer during this time because people need what you have. And this goes for, beyond money coaches, right? Like, a lot of people are worried about their finances, yes. But there's also a lot of people who are worried about, maybe they've been on this journey to improve their health and now they can't go to their gym, or now they can't meet with their dietitian, or now they can't get access to really healthy foods that maybe they were getting like delivered to their house, and for whatever reason that's not going to work anymore. And you're a health or a fitness coach online. You can provide a solution directly to them that meets their exact needs. Life coaches, now is a perfect time to step up. And, whatever area of life you're coaching on, people are going to have a hard time going through this time period, suffering or dealing with loneliness. Or maybe they were trying to ramp up some relationships. Maybe they were going on dates and now they don't really see an opportunity with that. Or maybe they were working on their relationship and this just like created this crater of a problem because of underlying issues, maybe financial or otherwise. So life, relationship coaches, career coaches, this might be the perfect time to step up because people are dealing with uncertainty around their career. And maybe the best way they can utilize this time while they're at home, working from home, on one end, I think a lot of career coaches who already might work from home can offer some guidance there. How do you work from home? But also maybe they have a little bit excess time because they're not commuting to work, or maybe they are laid off from their job temporarily. I know some people who are forced to take vacation during this time. And so maybe they can best use that time by updating their resume or getting their LinkedIn whipped into shape or whatever that is. But obviously this is your calling to show up and offer that service, offer that input, offer that advice. And whether you do it through just your content and you're just showing up and serving as, a level of free service, you can also do that call to action and make that offer of, hey, we can do this in a much more personalized way, one-on-one, me and you, we can make it happen. Now, the last thing I want to address is, should you provide a discount? And I think at the end of the day, that is entirely up to you. I don't think it's necessary at all. I don't think that, you need to definitely not offer your services for free. At the end of the day, you are running a business too. And you need to make sure that you can keep the lights on so you can help others keep their lights on. But at the same time, if you feel it in your heart to say, hey, I want to make this a little bit more accessible to people, go for it. But if you don't want to offer a discount, also don't feel bad about that. You're not increasing your prices. You're not trying to price gouge. You're just trying to step into this opportunity and say, hey, this is something that we all really need right now. And I just happen to offer that, like every business does this on a level, but every business does this across all levels. They step in where the opportunity exists. But for whatever reason, us running our own business, there's so many little birds chirping, telling you that you should do one thing or the other, and you should offer it for free, or you should offer it at a severely discounted rate. And I don't think you have to do that. If you want to, go for it. But if you are like, hey, I need to make some money, like this is still my business and I need to keep my lights on just as much as the other guy or gal, then don't feel that you have to fall into that pressure, because this is, you still have to show up and be that sign and signal of optimism and be that leader, and consider how you're going to continue on the other end of this, because there is another side. There is an end point to what is happening right now, and you're responsible for carrying others through to that, but you don't have to do that at a discount to you. So that's what I wanted to share today. I think, it's just, if I can offer any guidance or any reassurance to what you're doing and how you can continue to show up and serve your community and how important it is, especially right now, to be doing so, then I am happy that I rearranged my calendar and made sure that I got this out this week. So take it. If you liked what you heard in this episode and you think other people need to hear it, please share it. Go ahead and tag me. If you share it on Instagram, I'm at Tess_Wicks. If you share it on Facebook, I'm at WanderWealthy. If you share it anywhere else, I don't check those places, but that's okay. Share it anyway, because I think that this message does need to be shared, and more people need to hear from you and hear from me, because we're here. We're here to serve and we're here to lead. So thank you so much for joining us today. I don't know if I have anything to offer. I guess, what I've been offering right now is a little strange, because I'm going through a period of change. I feel like I'm always going through a period of change, but right now I've invested in myself and in my business to really hone in on my market and my communications. And so to give you a little sneak peek, to end this on an exciting note, I will be transitioning, and I have already announced in various places about this transition that I'm making to serve more the market and the industry of money coaches, and specifically online money coaches or financial coaches, financial counselors, wealth coaches. We all have different names for it, but if you have felt this calling to help other people with their money, then I want to help you build your business so we can make sure that this is something that you truly can build. You see your own value. You can believe in yourself to show up and do this work. And I can help you with the business aspect of it, and also help you identify what is important and how to provide a holistic experience to your clients. And that's not only through providing them really great tools that are going to help them with their finances, whether that's a budget or learning about investing or how to reduce their debt, but also with some really great mindset techniques, which I do for my clients, both individuals who I still help, although I am tapering off working with personal finance coaching clients, meaning working with individuals typically traditionally employed and helping them with their finances. And I work more and more with online coaches and specifically money coaches to help you build your business, help you work on your business mindset so that you can truly believe in what you have to offer. I already believe in you, but I want you to believe in you. And you can show up and you can price your services with confidence, and you can know that what you have to offer is going to resonate with others. So that's a long spiel to say I am making a transition to serve money coaches, because I've felt this calling that I need to be operating on this level so that I can create financial literacy from an exponential standpoint. Meaning I want to help more money coaches reach more people. And so many money coaches give up or give in too quickly to the realization that building a business isn't just, going to be like a overnight thing. I know a lot of people make it look like it is, but there's a lot of internal battles that you have to deal with. And so if you've been going through it, I like to think that the 9-month point of doing this is like that magical point where you're like, shit, this is hard. Then you know that coaching is an option for you. And I specialize in working with money coaches because I have personally built my own successful money coaching business. And I know what it takes. So if you're ready for that, you can. I do have a couple spots open because I've been clearing my calendar. I've been offboarding my personal one-on-one money coaching clients to help take on and onboard online money coaches who are wanting to build their business to that next level and make it a sustainable, profitable business that they get to run and run from anywhere, mind you. I've been running my money coaching business from Italy for the last almost 2 years, and now I'm in Switzerland. So it is possible for you if that's what you desire, or if you just want to make good money while working from home and making an impact on your clients. So go to wanderwealthy.com/apply if you're interested in working with a coach on a personal level. I'm crafting and perfecting and will be rolling out my coaching offering 2.0, but you'll get to get in on that as it gets crafted. So don't worry if you're like, well, should I wait? You don't have to wait. But wanderwealthy.com/apply is where you can apply. And I have not even updated my website because this is the trick, you guys. You got to ship before you're ready. You got to make your offer before things are perfect. Done is always, always, always better than perfect. That's my one coaching tip for you, is just get out there and serve and show up, especially during this time. So like I said, I'm going through transition. I'm going through an online high-ticket coaching course where I've been learning and ingesting everything so that I can show up and serve you in the best way possible. And so in that process, this is what I'm doing. Now, I have been making available on Instagram my signature coaching online courses, which is the money program and the invested program. So I'm actually rolling these programs off the shelves. I'm going to be archiving them probably at the end of March, but I wanted to make one last offer of these programs before they go away. So I am offering them as a bundle at a super discounted rate. You can save at least $257 or up to $257 if you bundle these programs together and make that bundled investment. I will link in the show notes the links to the program web pages so you can see what they're all about. But also I will link up the links to the bundled offer because they're separate from like if you just buy them separately, right? So I will show you how to get the bundled offer. There's a 3-time payment and a 1-time payment if you want to get the bundled offer. But I'm also, just reminding everyone about the invested program specifically, because I have seen and I've personally talked to so many friends, even if you are self-employed, this applies to everybody. If you have money invested and you're freaking out about the volatility, which just means like crazy ups and downs of the financial markets right now, the stock markets, you've been looking at maybe a retirement fund, or maybe you just have investments sitting somewhere and you're freaking out about how it's going up and down, and maybe you should pull your money out because you're just like scared of losing money. I need to remind you that you don't lose until you sell. And I have a lot of information that can serve you during this time of uncertainty inside of the invested program, as well as serve you for the rest of your life going forward if you make this one-time investment. So you can do it just investing in the invested program by yourself, or you can bundle the invested program and the money program together. The money program is much more comprehensive. It takes you through budgeting and debt reduction, and if you're ready to buy a home, and some basics in investing, and then the invested program goes much more deep into that. But if you're looking for comprehensiveness, I would get the Wealthy Programs bundle. Otherwise, shoot for the invested program if you really want to learn how to handle what's happening right now without freaking out and pulling all your money out of the markets. Because remember, you only lose when you sell, which means you're pulling your money out of the markets. That's when you lose your money. If it looks like you've lost money, but you haven't pulled your money out, then you technically haven't lost any money. It just means what was once more valuable is a little less valuable. But don't worry, it'll be more valuable again because the markets always recover. So that's what I have to say. Again, everything is going to be linked up in the show notes of this episode. If you're a money coach aspiring or you've been doing it and you're like, I'm going to have to throw in the towel pretty soon if I don't figure this out, then you might be interested in my new and improved, my new offering that I'm going to be launching and the new business that well, it's not new, but just like the pivot, the turn of my business and where I'm going next. If you're an online business owner or you're traditionally employed and you're freaking out a little bit about the markets, you might want to check out the invested program, and maybe you'll want to bundle it and save some money in the wealthy programs bundle. All of that stuff, the application, the invested program, the money program, the bundle, it's all going to be linked up at wanderwealthypodcast.com/podcast/episode 160. So go check that out, get access if that's what you need right now. And remember, there is a light at the end of this tunnel. There will be a time when all of this comes to the end and the world will keep turning and the days will still be ticking by. And this is your time to show up as a leader. So on the other side of this, everyone will see you and know that you are their leader. So go out and do that. And until next time, I hope you wander wealthy.